Hello guys, today we're gonna make a video on why relationships fail, why they work, and I'm gonna give you a couple of theories, also metaphysical, to understand the whole relationship dynamic. So eat your heart out. I have tons of nice colors to draw with, but this is gonna be very plain today, so we're gonna do a short unboxing here. And I love drawing sometimes, often, maybe. Okay, let me take darker colors so you see it well. And we have something which I call the soul plan. Okay, the soul. This is not. These are actually very thin. I need. Okay, better. Soul plan. Okay, so we have the soul plan. I hope you don't have that. How do you say? Flipped. So you have the soul plan. Then you have chakra attraction. Chakra attraction. Super important. This is the second one, chakra attraction. I'm going to explain all of those. And then you have container theory. And so we're going to call this the container theory. And here comes the thing. So the soul plan is kind of the soul mission, the soul plan that you're supposed to do in this life. Like, let's say, for example, from one of the podcasts, it was very clear from, and you will see this with many people that are on a high energy, a high vibration level, they're kind of like being pushed very quickly into a certain soul plan, like being a healer, for example. It could be anything. Okay? And let me just adjust this a tiny bit here. Okay, perfect. And so you want to have someone who has the same soul plan or has a supporting soul plan. So for example, let's say you feel a very strong urge to live off grid, okay? But you're living with someone who wants to be in the city and they feel they want to live there or something, okay? And I do have good ways to check for the soul plan, even if the person may be not living their soul plan yet. So you want to have a compatible or supporting soul plan. So that's super important. Then the second thing we're gonna get into. Well, let me actually put this down right away. So you have supporting soul plan or similar or same soul plan. And sometimes it can be a very simple soul plan. For example, you realize when a woman and a man come together only to have children and to support those children, and that's it. Okay, there's nothing further, no further evolution going on in their own soul or something like that. So that happens quite a lot as well, and that's why sometimes even partners go apart right after having children, like a year or two, maybe even sooner, because the soul plan was only to conceive that child. And then sometimes you even see that the partners go into kind of homeostasis, or kind of like winter sleep, you could almost say, also after conceiving the child, because the whole soul plan is kind of already complete, so they're just as a supporting role for the child, but they don't do anything anymore. They really just hang around and have no, you can sense they have no impulse anymore to create or to do. It could be also karmic with trauma, but I recognize these kind of like soul plans. Then the second thing is the chakra attraction, and there you have the three chakra relationships. The sacral. Okay, maybe I should draw it. Okay, so the sacral, the heart chakra, and the third eye. So that's not the best drawing. So basically, you have sacral chakra, heart chakra, and third eye. Those are the healthy symmetric relationships. We can talk about codependency and asymmetric relationships, but the the healthy symmetric relationships. So you have the sacral, which is kind of like I feel sexually attracted to the person, but not. It's an energetic thing, by the way. I'm talking here about something energetic. So when you're next to the person, you can sense your sacral chakra activating. When you're next to the person, you can sense your heart chakra activating. When you're next to the person, you can sense your third eye activating. Those are the three types. Usually you only have one of them, if at all, or maybe two. It's rare to have all three. The third eye is the spiritual growth, the heart chakra is the love, and the sacral is, of course, the chemical kind of like I want to be intimate with the person. So those are the chakra attractions. Super, super important. And now comes container theory. Okay, that's like the third really important column of it. So for container theory, I want to make a separate drawing here. Maybe I can do it here somewhere where I don't use unnecessary paper. It's because very high quality paper. So I'm not going to use my high quality paper on you. So you have two containers. The female container. Let's do it this way. So you have the female container and the male container. Okay? And the thing is that in modern relationships, a lot of these containers are leaking or damaged. And I call this something like the alchemy of the containers, is that when the masculine uses masculine energy to put that into the female container, she needs to, in order for the relationship to feel healthy, she needs to take that stuff, alchemize it basically into her feminine energy, and then return it to the male. Okay? And so, for example, the man, to give you a very simple example, the man is like, oh, we need to repair something on the house. The man repairs it on the house, she alchemizes it and returns it as a loving dinner, for example, or a massage, or even just simple things like a thank you, you did that very well. And what's happening nowadays is that a lot of these containers or buckets either have holes where it's draining, or they they don't have the capacity to hold any alchemize. So, for example, a man gives to the woman with the masculine energy, and the woman, in an arrogant masculine way, we were like, oh, this is what I deserve and I don't need to give anything back. And the man here either is a bucket himself, so he'll accept it and go into this kind of codependency, or he'll just get drained and drained by energy more and more and more. And maybe he sees that as a love language, so two broken people meet each other, kind of like in that way. Okay? And the and of course it works the other way around as well, where for example the woman gives something to the man and he doesn't know how to use it properly and give it back then again. And this kind of the lack of this, holding this into in the container, making it golden kind of, or higher vibration, the frequency, or alchemize it into the polarity and then give it back, that is missing in modern relationships. And the buckets, the leaks can be anything. For the man it could be porn, or trauma. For the woman, it's any kind of like post-feministic like beliefs. It can be literally anything, or trauma from the childhood where you don't understand relationship dynamics and so forth. And here comes the thing: the ideal tantric or high frequency relationship is able to alchemize this back and forth and thereby rise the kundalini, rise the energies, and so forth. And in the tantric microcosm, you can do that in in real time, in immediacy, by touch, etc. But what I realized, for example, a lot of women, they like to take the masculine energy. Of course, the masculine energy, if the male is very, very, very healthy, and very potent, he will constantly produce new masculine energy. And when he offers it to the woman, but the woman leaks or cannot alchemize it back, she's just addicted to that energy. That's it. That's why some women just, go with a random dude that has a lot of masculine energy, because she's addicted to that energy, but she's not alchemizing it back. And then she's wondering why the relationship doesn't work. And the male, because he's constantly producing new high masculine energy, he will then start to seek one woman after the other woman, and he will not commit to you because you're not giving back on that level. Okay? But the and then there's of course the fine-tuned kind of, like, the thing is, both need to appreciate each other's energy and be able to alchemize it. And so when you receive feminine energy or you receive masculine energy, look at what are you doing with it. Are you giving it back in a healthy way, or are you just like taking it and then ignoring? And I see a lot of young women, I mean, speaking as a man, I see a lot of young women that are receiving healthy masculine energy, but they're not alchemizing it at all. Like literally nothing. Okay, they're just taking in, taking in, taking in. And the reason is also, if they were truly a fixed bucket, then the energy would get higher and higher and higher, and they would feel that they want to give it back somehow. So this, and of course it works the other way as well. I'm not, of course, seeing it more from the male perspective now, and I'm open to discuss also this container theory with someone who has great examples for it, for example. And I just got this download like a few days ago, and it became very, very clear to me. And so one of the tricks is basically, when you're not sure whether the other person can alchemize this energy, is that you just give very, 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 very little, and then see if that person alchemizes it and gives it back in that sense. And if they don't invest in that person any further. That's basically the trick. And you must also know, of course, the love language of the other person, because maybe they are alchemizing it into something that you are not expecting. So you need to look at, like, but it's the perfect way to start to appreciate the other for what they're offering, or uninvest if you see that they're not offering anything, because they're a bucket, they're a leaking bucket. So those are the three most important parts of why relationships work or don't work. And the thing is that if a if a soul plan changes, or no, it becomes more apparent. Let's just say it that way. If it becomes more apparent, then, for example, there's a couple that's together for 10, 20 years, 5 years, and suddenly one person senses their soul plan mission is coming to the surface. Then a lot of or they're growing very quickly, which can be the same thing. Then spiritually, then oftentimes the relationship goes apart because one of them is stuck. It's not in their soul plan to grow, and one, yes, and then it doesn't match. I happen to see this a lot with women who came to my tantric sessions. Then chakra the chakra attraction, we have, of course, the asymmetric one. This is now the symmetric. The asymmetric is the codependency. For example, she confuses not being accepted as love, because that's how she learned it, and the male never accepts her fully, so they enter into this codependency. But there's a lot of asymmetric chakra relationships. Would be too much to explain it right now, but it's basically a constant codependency loop. So, and ideally, you want to have this symmetric chakra relationship. And by the way, there's about 1 to 2%. No, sorry, 0.1, 0.2% of people that you have very strong chakra attraction to. So you need to meet at least 500 people before you know really where. And I'm not talking sexually. Just be careful. Don't do wrong, bad things. All women are gonna be laughing now. I know. Like, oh, I thought I need more men. No, you need to meet like in the vicinity of around 500 people before and feel the energies to understand like where you feel one of those three attractions or not. And sometimes like after 500 people you will have at least one where you feel a little bit stronger or one of these chakras. And then of course the container theory. So because you can have the perfect soul plan together, you can be like, in my case, for example, oh, I want to start a retreat place, okay, where people come to heal or something like that, and that would work with me, for example. And then the chakra attraction. So we have strong, chakras that attract, but if they're so traumatized that they can't hold it in the container, then it won't work. But if they can hold it in the container, then you have the perfect relationship. If now the the container works but they don't have attraction. If they have the chakra attraction and the container, but they don't have the same soul plan, of course, same thing. So you will see that the columns must all three align, which is super rare in this society, in this modern society. Because most, in my opinion, most lack in the container theory and the healthy containers. That's the first thing. The second thing, they're way too superficial. They're not connecting on the chakra level. They're connecting on the oh my god, is he handsome or is she handsome? Is she beautiful? Level kind of, or superficial interests. And soul plan nobody looks at because people are stuck in kind of social norms and constructs on what they should be doing in life, and there's a lot of fear-based living, so they're not really connecting with their soul plan. So that's container theory, chakra attraction, and soul plan for the absolute highest frequency healthy relationship. And I'm very happy I didn't use too much of my very nice pen. And I feel like I want to draw again.